Hey folks, welcome back to another informational video with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today, we're giving you a little bit more information about this little guy right here, the Carcassonne Abbey and Mayor expansion for the new reprint of Carcassonne. So what I'm going to do is basically just show you what comes in the expansion. Then I'm also going to give you a brief explanation about how each of the different modules that come in here work with your base game. And then some minor thoughts on the end. It's not really a review, just kind of informational goodness that will help you make a better decision on whether or not you want this guy to go with your Carcassonne base game. So let's get down to the table. So here's what you get in the Carcassonne Abbey and Mayor expansion. You're first of all going to get 12 more land tiles that you can just simply add to your game. And they also do have a little icon on it to let you know what expansion it comes from. You're also going to get 4 different modules that you'll be able to add into your Carcassonne game. You're going to get 6 Abbey tiles. Each player starts with one of those. We'll talk about how you use them later on. You're also going to get 6 new Mayor meeples. These big panted fellows over here, and each player will get one of those to start with as well. You get 6 wagons, and then also 6 barns that come in the game, the expansion rather. So each player will, of course, get one of these to start the game with, but let's go ahead and talk about how those modules are used. So with the Abbey module of the expansion, everybody's going to start with their own tile for the Abbey, and they'll be able to put it into this kind of situation when you have one spot that is completely surrounded and you're really looking for a very specific tile at that point, but it's just not coming up. You can use your Abbey tile and place it in there, and now that Abbey completes all of the different features that are adjacent to it. So this city would be finished and scored. This field would be completed, at least on this side, and it would go down in this way as well, possibly on a future play. But it would count as finishing all of those different features. You would also be able to place your meeple on the Abbey, and it would count as a monastery, or it would score, rather, as a monastery in all likelihood, where you're going to be getting points for all of the different things once all 9 of the things are completed. So that's the Abbey. Now the wagon can be placed normally just like it would be placing any other meeple. You can place it anywhere. You can place it in a city, you can place it in a town, you can place it on an abbey. You just cannot place it in a field to act as a farmer. So once you have it placed and a feature scores, for example, this road right here would score, since it has been completed, you would score 1, 2, 3 points for that that road, and then you'd be able to move the wagon to any feature that is adjacent to this tile, orthogonally or diagonally, that is incomplete and currently does not have any other kind of meeple or something like that on it. So at this point, we can move the wagon either to the monastery here or down here to this city, and that would count as a meeple in one of those 2 factions or places, features. Later on, if that new feature scores, you would be able to move it to an adjacent one, again, to this tile. So I can move it up here to this monastery if I wanted to, but I would also score the 4 points for that small city. Now for the Mayor module, this is where a little bit more of the player interaction and battling over different cities kind of takes a little bit more root. And basically the Mayor is going to be worth the number of shields that are in the city. For example, you have 1, 2, 3 shields in this city right here. This city is going to be a different one, so it's not included in this city here. So the Mayor is worth 3 power, and this wagon over here is acting like just a regular old meeple, so he's only 1. So in order, when this city scores, the Mayor is going to be the one who controls the city, not this guy, even though he may be the one that started building the city. Whenever you have 4 tiles that have a juncture here in the middle of them, comprised of nothing but open field features, that is where barns will be able to be placed, right there on those junctures. Now, what happens when you place a barn? Well, first of all, it automatically scores farmers just like you would score farmers at the end of the game. So it's basically going to kick out any farmer that is going to be in those fields. And this particular field kind of reaches over to a number of different tiles, and of course it could go out this way as well. But each farmer would score and then go back to their supply. And then the barn is going to stay on the board until the end of the game, and it's going to score a whopping 4 points for each city that is adjacent to its field and completed. So this is a pretty cool little addition to the game as well. That's the barns module. And then just by way of simple explanation, some of the weird tiles that are in the game. For example, this tile here has 2 different cities on it. You have one city here and then one city that is joined by this bridge here. So if this tile were already here and this was added, it wouldn't actually complete this city because this city actually carries over to this edge as well. So that's one thing to keep open. I think that's pretty cool. Here, this road is continued. It's actually a tunnel that goes under the wall of the city, up and then out. So this road is actually one continuous road and can continue to be built this way. Here, this road is not ended by this juncture. It simply branches into 3 different directions. So, or rather 2 other different directions. So the road is coming along this way and then branches off into these other 2 directions. So that's pretty cool as well. Now, as some of you probably already know, I'm a sucker for modular expansions. I like how an expansion will give you some things that you can choose to put into your game or leave out, or just put it all in and go for broke, basically. I really like it when expansions do that, and this is one of the cool expansions that I have experienced. The Abbeys are another way to kind of break the tension that evolves from this game when you're looking for that one tile and, oh no, they found it. Oh man. But even when that happens, hopefully, of course, you want to find that extra tile, but if it doesn't happen, you always have that backup. And so I like that it's kind of eases that tension a little bit. Now, on the other hand, the mayors kind of racket up that tension a little bit because the fighting over the cities will be a little bit more, I guess you could say, intense. Maybe a little bit harder to hold on to those cities. You have to be really careful with how you play your tiles and that type of thing. So that's a cool thing as well. I like the barns that change the end scoring. I remember way back when I first started playing Carcassonne, I thought the farmers were like, man, this almost breaks the game because they score you so many points at the end of the game. Well, this is one of those ways where you can possibly break that up a little bit, and I like that. On the same coin there, you're not only breaking up somebody else's, you're possibly going to score a lot of points for that barn. So that's pretty cool as well. The migrating wagons, as I like to call them, I don't know, that seems kind of fidgety, maybe a little bit convoluted, but I don't like the backdoor things usually in games like this, and the wagon seems like a backdoor. Oh, you left that open because you didn't have any meeples? Oh, well, that means I get to go over there and score some points. Okay, that's neither here nor there, but I'm okay with it, I guess. I don't think that I would not play with it. It's just one of those extra things that I'm, whatever. So basically for me, I think this is a good expansion for you to go out and get. You'll have to make that final decision, of course, but I think it does add some cool things to the base game of Carcassonne. So hopefully that gives you enough information to make your choices on whether or not you're going to pick this up. That's my goal. We'll see you guys on the flip side.